So what's up, guys? Been trying to do this video for a while with the men's shoe discussion. This is gonna be formal business shoes or dress shoes, or like if you're going to a wedding or something. If you're looking at shoes, I'm gonna just discuss that. Two key things in this video is, well, before I even begin, one of these shoes, only one shoe out of this lot of five are made in Italy. The rest are made in China. Maybe one is India, but I'm just gonna say Chinese or Asian made shoes. A lot of these are the same styling. They're all Oxford shoes, except for one Derby shoe. I'm gonna explain that in a minute too, and there. So is Italian-made shoes worth it? So one of these shoes costs $450. The rest are store brand, store retail, normal $90 to $150 shoes. Now I never pay full retail for anything, So I did not pay $450 for the Italian shoes, nor did I pay $150 for any other of these shoes on here. I'm probably combine all these shoes I paid $400 for. So let's get right into it. The next thing I'm going to talk about, well, the first thing I'm going to talk about, which is the second point in this video, is men's shoe sizing. It gets overlooked every time I hear people talk about shoe sizing, what size you are. Even at high-end department stores like Barney's New York, they don't really discuss that. The people selling shoes, the people buying shoes, it's sort of a big confusion. But if you go to like Europe, you go to the cheapest store in England or London, they'll know how to discuss shoe sizing. The most important thing next to your social security number, your date of birth, is your shoe size. And a lot of men just use the US 9s, 10, 10 and a half, 11s, 8, 7s. That doesn't cut it, because I'm looking at all these shoes where four of them are all by Gordon Rush, with the one exception of one being Gordon Rush Italian-made shoes. And the top one there are Aston Grey. These are all 44 size, and 44 is the EU or European size shoe. I believe that's what EU stands for. And that's the number you want to keep with you. Write it down, put it in your pocket. That's the number that's going to follow you around unless your feet swell or grow or shrink or whatever, or get chopped off. Because that number never changes. You're 44 at 30 years old, you're going to be 44 at 35, 44 at 40 years old. Now, the shoe size, the US and UK and so forth, different countries wherever you go, I think there's a Brazilian shoe size as well, and sizes in Asia. That's going to change wherever you go. But the EU, that's the actual foot measurement size. I believe there's also a centimeter measurement size that that may be more specific and more reliable. But the 44 is what I go on in the US and in Europe. I don't really go to other parts of the world to worry about different types. But UK, US sizes is what I'm worried about. Now, the first pair of shoes are 10s, size US 10s. The second pair are size US 11s. These pair are size US 10 and a half, size US 10s for the derby at the end, and size 10 and a half US. Now, all these shoes are the same exact size. My feet are 44, and these are all 44. So the second thing on the tag usually says 10 and a half, 44, 10s, 44. So it's just weird how the shoes are sized differently. And I believe Gordon Rush makes shoes for different markets. So some of these shoes might have been initially made for a certain market. That's why the discrepancy in sizes. Aston Grey, I don't know much about this brand. I know it's a DSW store brand, and their sizing are pretty much, I have a couple of their shoes, and I'm usually a 10 and a half, and that measures 44. So within Aston Grey, that brand, which is a US market brand, I'm specifically a 10 and a half. And once I know that 44, I'm a 10 and a half in that shoe. So keep that in mind. That's very important, guys. Get your feet measured and get that number written down. And wherever you go around the world, that's going to be very reliable in getting your shoe size. Even if you order online, you're not sure about what your shoe size is for men's dress shoes. Not really sneakers or or other type of shoes, but for men's dress shoes, that size is going to be really helpful in terms of finding a good fit for your size. Now, I'm going to just do a quick difference between Derby and Oxford shoes, because that's another thing that kind of bothers me, that people confuse it. Now, people selling shoes, shoe sellers, tend to call every pair of shoe that looks like this Oxford shoes because they're dressy. They usually call them Oxfords. They're not. This is a Derby shoe. And a Derby shoe, the difference is the lacing is an open structure lacing. So the tongue usually floats, and the gusset in over here is sort of open, so you can stick your finger right in there. Now, Oxford shoes, by contrast, there's nothing floating there. It's just rigid. It's a closed tongue system, so the tongue isn't really floating. It's very taut between the folds of the leather. And I believe this is called a vamp in a shoe. So the tongue of this shoe is much more stiffer, and it's anchored right to the shoe itself, whereas this shoe is just one construction up and the tongue floats. Now, Oxford derby shoes are a little less formal in my eyes compared to an Oxford shoe, where you have the nice structure of the tongue and everything looks neat and folded there. Whereas this is just kind of a little bit more sloppier. Now, Oxford shoes are great for like if you go on a wedding in the summertime and you want to look dressy but remain comfortable. Now, the thing with derby shoes, I'm sorry, these derby shoes. The thing with derby shoes, they're much more breathable because of that open tongue system there. You get more breathability, as well as you have wider feet. Men with wide feet might want to look for derby shoes because it's a little bit more comfortable on wide feet because of that. You get that flexibility right there, as well as that fold there is going to be less painful on the area behind your toe area. So that fold in a derby shoe is going to be much more comfortable, whereas an Oxford, I'm sorry guys, these shoes are very worn. An Oxford shoe is going to be much more rigid, and it's much more better if you have a narrow feet in terms of fit and comfort. In terms of style, you could go anywhere you want with style if you have wide feet, narrow feet, whatever. So there you go. That's an Oxford shoe. So if someone says Oxford shoe, it has to have a closed tongue lacing. Derby shoes are I think in my eyes, a little less formal. I have men, people I work with, they all only wear derby shoes. And then you have the loafer shoes, which is, I think, much less formal. But these are still formal, but in my eye and in the eyes of many people, derby shoes aren't as formal as Oxford shoes. Now, if you haven't guessed already, these are the ones that are made in Italy. And I'm going to just go into quick differences between using these shoes, because these shoes are almost identical. Even the logo in there, look at that. Aston Grey collection and Gordon Rush made in Italy. So you see right there, it says made in Italy in the store. And these shoes actually came in that Gordon Rush box. And I was amazed to find these. Don't think I've ever owned an Italian-made Oxford business shoe in my life. I've owned Prada shoes that were made in Italy and Geox shoes made in Italy. And those are kind of casual sneaker shoes. Now, these shoes are right out of the box. I realized they're really great quality. You have that leather sole there. Leather sole and a wood heel. And everything on an Italian-made shoe, it's sort of handmade. And everything's replaceable at your local cobbler or shoe repair shop. Even the leather uppers could be replaced, and the shoe could be sort of, I think the term is relasted, where it's sort of reconstructed from just like simple parts of the shoe, and everything else is new. So Italian-made shoes are highly serviceable, a little bit more expensive. I mean, these shoes retail for $450. I found these on Amazon for $50, funny enough. And I got the first pair in, and I was like, this is a really good deal. So I went back and bought 2 more boxes of the Gordon Rush in this size for myself. And I've also always wanted brown, dark brown, chocolate brown business shoes. It's been really hard to find shoes this color in this style. Usually you get the summer colors like this, the light tan, or you get like a lighter brown. But to get the dark brown, it's really hard to find this color. So I bought as many as I could from this seller. Now, just go to the quality of the stitching and stuff like that. You can see there the Italian shoes are much better quality than the Chinese-made shoes there. These are made in China. You got the brogan design. You can see the Italian is much more smoother there. You can see like it's not as smooth as the Italian-made shoes, and the leather creases a little bit more, I don't know, undistinguished than the Italian crease there. And these are new shoes. I'm gonna give these maybe a couple of months before I come back and maybe do another compare video. But the Italian-made shoes is definitely worth it. I don't think that's not real leather sole, and I don't know if that's a wood or a cork sole, but it's not real and it's not nailed in. But definitely get the Italian, guys. And yeah, I really like these Italian made shoes. The lacings are also very well done there. I really like the lacing on that shoe. And show you guys a bit of the stitching. Now what Aston Grey has done with this, these are called the Kobe shoes. I like the wood detailing on the side. You don't really get that with the Gordon Rush shoes here, but you know, you could see there and compare. But I really like the detailing on the Italian made shoes, even the little things there, as well as the transition of the underside. You don't get that here at all. And compare these two. I have two pairs. These are also new Gordon Rush shoes. These are made in China. And you get the all rubber sole with the fake stitching there. It's just a stitching design. And you get the fake nail design there, compared to the real nail. And it's not even perfect because it's handmade, so it's a little imperfection there. So, and look at the brogan again. Brogan is much better done there than it is in the Chinese made shoes. You can see the detail is much better. Even the stitching quality is better than the Italian made shoes. And it's no surprise there that the Italian made shoes wins out in terms of the quality of these shoes. And the most similar to these were these, and I've worn these for a couple of years now. And my flaw with the Gordon Rush brand is the heel box wears out really quickly in my shoes because I think it's the way I drive my car really hard. And I drive in the mornings a lot, dropping my daughter to school. So that's from driving, you know, every day of the year. Every time I wear these shoes and get in the car, that heel wears out from, you know, speeding and braking. So that's it, guys. Italian made shoes, definitely worth it. You can, if the shoe wear out, you can replace many parts in this shoe, similar to like an old car, and restore it as many times as you can. And these are comparable to Allen Edmonds shoes, and I think the shoe is called the Park Avenue, as well as Johnson Murphy makes shoes similar to these business shoes that you can take back to the store and they'll repair it, replace parts on the shoe for you. So definitely Italian made shoes are definitely worth it, guys. I paid $50 for those on Amazon. They're $450, maybe $495 retail, I believe, is what they said. These other shoes, I bought these for like $40 at a store in New York. Those are like maybe $60, and the other shoes are maybe $100 retail, but I paid less for them. These Kobe's I bought from DSW with a coupon. I paid $55 for them. So there you go, guys. You don't have to spend a lot of money to get Italian made shoes. Just do a little bit of research online, searching around. Amazon, eBay, you can find new stuff on eBay. I know eBay is sort of like a hit or miss in what you buy there, but definitely check those websites out. Do a lot of searching around, and you'll find deals and stuff like that. All right, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.